Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're all doing well, inshallah. So for this video, I'm going to be doing something very different. It's going to be a response video to Lauren Southern. For those of you who don't know, Lauren Southern is someone who's very opposed to immigration. She's very opposed to refugees coming into Canada, and she's very supportive of Trump's Muslim ban, and she likes that Trump is against immigration and he's trying to cut down on immigration to the States. This video, I'll be talking a little bit about what she says. I'll be showing some of her clips, showing you what she says in her videos, and giving some responses to those clips. Please stay tuned and let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think? Should immigrants be welcome to Canada or should we keep them out? Jazakumullah khair, and stay tuned for the video.
كتاب الله دستوري وخير الخلق أسوتنا.
Bismillah. So this all starts off with the story coming out that Lauren Southern is no longer allowed to go into the UK because of some issues that she was causing there, some hate speech, and even in some spots she was actually called a terrorist by some stations. There's all these memes and tweets going around, and she was getting fed up, so she made a video basically defending herself and justifying her beliefs, justifying what she says. So let's get into it. I just took a few clips out of this one video. You can watch the full video on her channel if you'd like to. So for the first clip, here's what she says.
It is not a white nationalist position to care about the murder of white people. What is an extreme position is to claim that caring about white deaths is an alt-right Nazi agenda of some sort.
Yes, we should be caring for any white death. It's not an extreme position to be calling out, standing up against the death of white people. That's not extreme at all. That's normal. That's great. But you should also be standing up against the death of refugees, against the death of Muslims, against the death of any minority group who are being killed for no apparent reason, for no good reason. And honestly, there is no justifiable reason for death, in my opinion. Sometimes out of self-defense things happen, but that's another debate for another video.
I tend to be of the mindset that a nation should protect its identity, its history, its culture, and put its immediate or historical population first before considering taking in immigrants that could be a burden to it, or appeasing recent immigrant populations who have not assimilated.
Okay, so here's where things start to go south. So when you say that you're not opposed to immigration, but then you go on to say that you are more than happy to welcome the people who are legal immigrants, fine, that's fair. Legal, we want legal, and we don't want any illegal immigration, but they have to be people that speak the language, people that are assimilated to the culture, people that what you're doing there is you're pretty much closing the door to everybody that doesn't speak English, everybody that doesn't live the Canadian lifestyle, the Canadian culture. And honestly, what is the Canadian culture? It's not, you can find some things, you know, like the whole A thing, or Canadians love hockey, all whatever you want to put together, but if you really look into it, there is no one set culture that Canadians adhere to or Canadians have. Canada is known as one of the most, if not the most, multicultural country in the world. That's what makes Canada so great. That's what makes Canada our home. It has opened its doors for centuries, for so many years, to many different people from all over the world. Didn't matter what color your skin was, didn't matter what religion you followed, didn't matter what language you spoke. If you wanted to come to Canada, whether it's just because of your own want, you wanted to come start a new life, or because of a need, you are a refugee looking for a safe place to live because your home was taken away from you, Canada was an open and welcome place for you to be. That is what made Canada what it is. If you want to go back to the history of Canada and preserving the history of Canada, then why not give and stand up for the rights of the indigenous people of this country? Because what happened was, and everyone knows this, we learn this in schools, the English settlers came to Canada and forcefully took this land away from the natives, away from the Indians living here, and then they went and took their kids, put their kids into residential schools where they were forced to assimilate to the Western way. They were forced to assimilate to how the English man or woman lived their life. These children were not allowed to speak their native tongue. They had to speak English and proper English in these schools. They had to dress the way the English settlers told them to dress, and they had to act the way they were told to act. Their identity was taken away from them. If this is what you want us to do to our immigrants, then count me out. This is unacceptable, and I cannot, as a human being, stand for this. And anyone that thinks this is okay, please justify it. Explain why this could possibly be okay in any world.
But anyways, now that that is out of the way, what about them borders? I have staunchly supported borders for a long time. I've wanted border security enforced, I've wanted background checks, I've wanted walls, electric fences, moats, alligators, sharks with laser beams, the whole lot of it. Yet suddenly, when it's used against me, when I'm the one being questioned as a terrorist, when I'm the one being locked out of a country, I get all upset about it. So I really should clarify that not once in my entire political career have I ever advocated for border controls to be used on legal visitors to a nation, let alone legal migrants in general. I'm against mass immigration of unassimilated populations and illegal immigration. If you can find a video of me anywhere on the internet saying we need to use our borders to restrict visitors who speak the language, love the culture, are attempting to enter legally, and only want to stay for a short visit, then I will delete my whole YouTube channel. Because it's a pretty safe bet that those videos don't exist.
Okay, so here's another problem. You are pretty much saying that unless you're coming in for a short visit, you're not welcome here. We don't want you to stay here. We don't want you to start a new life here. Doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Doesn't matter why you want to come into Canada. Unless it's for a short visit, don't come. You got to be a legal immigrant. You have to be assimilated. You got to act the way we act. You got to speak the way we speak. You got to think the way we think. And if you don't do any of those things, then bye-bye. You're not welcome here. Again, I mean, when you look at the refugees that Canada's taking in, do you really think these people want to be here? I mean, I don't take that the wrong way. Okay, obviously they're grateful for what Canada has offered them. They're grateful that they're able to live in a peaceful land. They're grateful that they're given a second chance at life. But if you were to ask them honestly, okay, to go back, and if there was a way for them to stop this war, if there was a way for them to make it so that their country was a safe place to live, so that their country was a place where they can raise their children, where they can have a business and support a family, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want to go through all this mess. The vast majority of refugees are here because they have no other choice. It's either death or coming to Canada or any other country that would accept them. That's the reality. The refugees that we are accepting here in Canada, many of them, they've seen things that I cannot even begin to imagine. Yani, people that literally see their children being shot in front of their eyes, women being raped in the streets, men leaving their homes to find food or shelter for their family and never coming back because they were either kidnapped or killed. Things that you have never experienced, things that you will probably never experience, and something that I hope you never have to see. And because you've never been in this scenario before, you have no right to speak for these people. You don't know what they've been through. You don't understand. All these people want is a safe place to raise their kids and live a peaceful life. That's it.
So no, I do not see my positions on border control as hypocritical in this light either. It actually baffles me how people think this quip is so clever. If you cannot see the difference between adorable little Brittany Pettibone trying to legally come have crumpets and tea with me in London and 10,000 Somalis illegally showing up on the shores of Sicily with no passports or background checks, I can't help you. That's on you. There is literally nothing in this video I could say that would help, other than maybe start wearing a helmet when you leave the house, because it is a dangerous world out there when you have a sub 40 IQ.
Okay, so now she's defining illegal immigrants. Well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't put words in her mouth. But basically, she's making it seem like anyone that comes to a new country Let's just use Canada as an example. Anyone that comes to Canada without a proper background check and without their passport or any form of ID is an illegal immigrant. Now, let's go back to the scenario of refugees. These people are leaving a war zone. Many of them have no homes to go back to. Many of them went out to find work, went out to find food, come back to their homes, which are now destroyed by these drones, destroyed by these bombs and missiles being thrown everywhere and launched everywhere. The reality is they don't have the time to say, oh, let me run back home and get my passport. Let me run back home and get my ID. They don't have that luxury. When they have an opportunity to escape, they're going to take that opportunity. They're going to grab their kids and they're going to run. They're not going to think twice. They don't have the luxury of time. That's just how things are for these people. So them coming to a new land, them coming to Canada without any ID or a passport does not mean they're automatically illegal immigrants. And yes, the people at the borders of Canada, they have their policy, they do what they do their background checks. They're doing what they can to make sure this country is safe. They're doing what they can to be fair to these refugees as well. We have a responsibility to cater to and help those that need our help and support. And that's the reality. This is what makes Canada such a beautiful place to live in, always so welcoming, so open, so supportive of other people, and multicultural. We have that beautiful aspect embedded in our society, where we have people from all different walks of life who give different contributions to society to make us who we are. So that's my little rant. Sorry if I got a little emotional or disrespectful. I didn't intend for any of that, but this is obviously a topic that's bothered me for a very long time, and it's bothered many other people as well. Like I said in the beginning of the video, please leave your ideas and your opinions in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think. What do you think about immigrants? What do you think about Border Patrol? And do you think Canada is making a mistake? We'll see you next week, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Please remember to subscribe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.